I'm here in Gainesville, Florida, where the Rockets took on the Florida Gators on Friday night. This was a game full of firsts. The first time the Rockets had ever played the Gators, and Coach Gene Cross's first game as a head coach. But taking on the number 19th team in the nation would be a tough test here in the O'Connell Center. It's round one of the Division II Ohio High School playoffs between the Central Catholic Fighting Irish and the Olentangy Liberty Patriots. The road to the state championship starts here, and the fans, they're pretty pumped up about it. It's the championship match of the women's MAC soccer tournament. The Lady Rockets have won it 2 straight years. They're trying to make it 3 in a row, and the winner of this game goes to the NCAA tournament. They'll be taking on Eastern Michigan today, and we'll have more updates for you after the game. This will probably be known as the Miracle in Ann Arbor. The first time Toledo visits Michigan, they beat them 13-10 today. The Wolverines missed a field goal at the last second that sealed the deal. From football to a sport that doesn't involve a ball at all, Ultimate Frisbee as a club sport is sweeping across college campuses from Southern Cal all the way to Harvard. And in case you're not familiar, I met up with UT's club team to check out the sport that is simply known as Ultimate.
The basic rules of Ultimate Frisbee are pretty simple. Score by getting in the other team's end zone and don't take a step after you catch the disc. Also, there are no officials, so players call their own fouls. Team captain Benji Billman separates Ultimate from other sports.
All sports in general have like team aspects, but I feel like everyone really depends on each other in Ultimate Frisbee rather than just a couple people or maybe a certain play or anything like that.
After a 6-year break, Ultimate returned to UT in 2003. The team now has 20 players, more than enough for 2 teams. But how does Ultimate stack up against a more popular sport like football?
It's really the best sport I've ever played, and I've played football, and I feel this is just beats them all in intensity and camaraderie.
UT's team is called Savage, and they will be playing in a tournament at the Cuyahoga Polo Fields this Saturday and Sunday. And if you want to see a Rocket home game this weekend, check out our 2-time defending MAC champion women's soccer team against Ball State. 1 o'clock Sunday at Scott Park Field.
Thanks, Dave.
Yeah, thank you. All right, we'll be back in a moment with more UT 10 News.
After a blowout loss in Week 1 at Arizona and a huge win last week at Eastern Michigan, the Rockets had their sights set on the 25th-ranked Fresno State Bulldogs. The Rockets last played the Dogs in 2005, where they lost by nearly 30 points. And for the fans and players who remember that game, this Saturday was supposed to be sweet, sweet revenge. The last 4 ranked opponents that have come into the Glass Bowl have lost, and Toledo was hoping to continue that trend. The game would go back and forth in the first half, with the Rockets answering the call every time Fresno would gain momentum. Toledo was shocking the Bulldogs at the half, 21-17. That's DeJuan Collins punching it in with 9 seconds left. Let's fast forward to 3.5 minutes left in regulation. Fresno had a 10-point lead. Game over, right? Sorry, thanks for playing. No, Stephen Williams answers the call with this incredible 44-yard grab. Ensuing kickoff, Toledo recovers their own onside kick and marches all the way down to the Bulldogs' red zone. But they have to settle for the tying field goal from Alex Steigerwald. That's okay, we're going to overtime. First overtime, quarterback Aaron Opelt punches it in to give the Rockets only their second lead of the game, 48-41. The Bulldogs would put 2 more touchdowns on the board, and in the second overtime, Toledo's turn. John Allen catches the touchdown to put Toledo within 1. Decision time for Coach Amstutz. He goes for the do-or-die 2-point conversion at the end, and the pass is knocked down. Fresno State escapes Toledo 55-54 in double overtime. The Rockets will try to get back on the winning track next Saturday when they take on the Florida International Panthers. In the shadow of the Glass Bowl lie the varsity tennis courts. And from these courts come one woman's story from Cairo to Toledo. UT sophomore tennis player Maha Gergis was born in California, but her parents moved to Egypt when she was just a couple of months old.
I loved it, actually. Cairo is like a big city, like double the size of New York, so crowded, and I just like the culture. It's my culture, actually.
As for her interest in tennis, well, it's all in the family.
My dad started playing when I was a baby, I think, and my older sister, she's 3 years older than me, and she was playing. Then I picked up a racket when I was six years, and I've been playing since then, 13 years.
During those 13 years, most of them spent in Egypt, Maha refined her game, and Toledo varsity women's tennis coach Tracy Montler began reviewing her tapes and making calls.
You know, the one thing with recruiting internationally, because I never had the chance to meet her face to face like I do most of the other girls. She and I was mainly all over the phone, but still, you know, the one thing I knew about her right away is that she's just a great person. She makes good decisions. You know, what she's brought to the team, I think she's a great teammate, very unselfish, and she's a hard worker, the kind of person that gives 100% all the time.
One of Maha's teammates, junior Jenny Belsky, has taught and learned from Maha.
As far as on-court and off-court, kind of patience in life and waiting for things to come to you, and normally if you do the right things, things will come, and then she's definitely taught me to go after things a little bit more, and I've tended to do that. Things have worked out.
Her parents have not yet been able to make it to UT, and many people have asked if she plans on moving back to Egypt after college.
I've been asked that a lot, but since I have at least like 6 more years of studying and relatives here, and I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm still going to be attached to home, I'm sure.
For the Palestra, I'm David Davis.
First, we go to Laurel Hill, where on Saturday, men's tennis played a good old-fashioned twin bill. The afternoon game saw the men escaping the Butler Bulldogs 4-3. And now to the nightcap, the Rockets taking on the Warriors of Wayne State. Toledo here with their pregame chanting and making a bunch of racket. No pun intended. But I'll tell you who was making some noise. None of it, lick it, come chorn. That's right, it wouldn't be a sports segment without none of it. The blue and gold swept all 3 doubles matches, with Burris and Clark going to tiebreakers to win theirs, but it still counts. In the singles, Rockets took 4 out of 6. Wade Ward won all 4 of his matches right there, and the men moved to 14-9 overall and 2-0 in the MAC. This Saturday will be the first official meeting on the gridiron between the Rockets and the University of Michigan. Although in 1928, Toledo University played Michigan's junior varsity team and lost 33-0. But it's safe to say the sour taste from that fateful day is not in anyone's memory. The 2008 version of the Wolverines have a 2-3 record so far and are coming off of a blowout loss to Illinois. No doubt they will be primed and ready to go. The Rockets were also embarrassed last week, but Coach Amstutz and the team are ready for the big house.
Obviously, Michigan's one of the best football programs in the country. They have great football players, really impressed with their defense. They're loaded on defense. And it's going to be a great challenge, but it's going to be a lot of fun for the players to play in front of a huge crowd and play on the biggest stage in America.
110,000 fans, Big Ten team. It's going to be a great test for us to come out there and 3-game losing streak. We know that we can just go out there, get a win. It'll boost us right back up to where we need to be.
Kickoff is at noon, and the game will be televised on the Big Ten Network.